You're taking a pasting Tuesday night. You come back and score over 20 runs the next 2 days. What is it about this team that enables them to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing that there's not a lot of fear there. I mean, this is a playoff type atmosphere. The crowd was in the game. They got back in the game just because the Cubs kept punching back, and I think you saw it from our young players. They just continued to go. They continued to play. They continued to execute, and it was fun to watch.
You were feeling something fun might happen when Palacios went up there?
I was just hoping to get the ball in the air so we could get, we could get the runner home, and then, he got the breaking ball that hung. And I mean, he's done an unbelievable job all year long pinch hitting, and it's not an easy thing to do, and he seemed to have a pretty good knack for it.
With Oviedo, I mean, it's kind of 6 shutout innings are what matter most, but how did he keep it that way?
Yeah, well, I mean, he put himself in some jams by the walks, and then, after he put himself in the jams, he was able to execute pitches. And I will say, I think 2 of the biggest jams he got in, Indy went out and had really good visits. And, that's important. That's a really good sign of a young catcher, of knowing the time to go out. And excuse me, after both those visits, he was able to execute pitches. I don't know what was said, but it was a real big growth moment for Indy.
Shelton, I know you've said repeatedly over this season that this is a group that isn't scared to take 2 or 3 Wrigley with a team that's this desperate in this crowd. Does that kind of back up that statement that they're just not scared?
Yeah, I mean, they continued to play. They continued to execute. They continued to do little things. They ran the bases hard. We were really aggressive. And, to come in, we talked about the last 14 games. We're going to be in some really good atmospheres against playoff teams. And, I mean, the Cubs are a good team, and their offense is good. And they showed it tonight in terms of how they continue to go. And the crowd fuels them here. I mean, they get one runner on and it gets pretty loud, and our guys did not bend, man. They kept going.
Shelton, have you noticed anything different with Andujar now compared to April, May?
I mean, I think the stretch of the at-bats that he had in Indy to be able to play every day, he's come back up, and it just looks like he's in a good spot, and he's super aggressive. And I think that's the big thing, is he's aggressive and he hits the ball hard.
I think Palacios is like in situations that are deemed late and close, it's over 1,000. Like when it comes to situations like this, do you almost kind of expect him to be able to deliver in some way?
I think we expect him to have a good at bat, and that's the thing. And he actually seems to have his best at bats in situations like that and stays under control. I mean, I think yesterday we saw the first 2 at bats off steal where he was way out of control, and Andy had to pull him aside and be like, "Hey, listen, you got to try to hit the ball in the middle field." He ends up hitting the 3-run homer. Now, obviously, you can't do that all the time, but it's just making sure he kind of stays, under control and within the at bat.